Hello there, one and all. Raziel here. So the next two reviews are going to be kind of quick because, sad to say, I didn't really love these movies too much. The second one had some elements that I enjoyed greatly, especially background story and whatnot. But for the movie today, it's an interesting take. I will be talking about the movie Unhinged, starring Russell Crowe. This one was actually personally requested from a dear friend of mine. You wanted to know, here it goes. This movie was basically Road Rage the movie. If you've seen the trailer, you pretty much already know how this movie's going to go, how it's going to end, and you pretty much get the gist. There's been movies like this before, although none that I've seen this extreme. Mild spoiler alert, because this is literally the first scene in the movie. Everything that is happening that you've learned from the trailer as to why Russell Crowe's character is doing this to this woman, he's basically projecting. Because the very first scene in the movie, there is no context. You're just watching a moment where he's sitting there. He looks like he's down in the dumps. And he simply takes a wedding ring off. That's it. Next you know, he walks up to this house, beats the door down with a hammer, and we're led to believe that the woman in this house with this gentleman, who he is literally beaten to death with a hammer, is his wife, who is gone behind his back. Now granted, being cheated on sucks greatly, but talk about extreme. And then what happens next, I won't even spoil that if you do want to go see this, but what happens next, I'm just sitting there thinking, I know she broke your heart, but jeez. Which slowly leads into our, I suppose you could say, protagonist, loosely, where you have this lady where she's down in her life. Things aren't going well. She's a tad bit of a mess, but hey, who hasn't been there? But what happens is, because she chooses to be, well, sad to say, chooses to be American as opposed to just being polite and letting things roll off her shoulders, she uses the wrong choice of words, and the rest of the movie is Russell Crowe just keeping his word, where he says, you don't know what a bad day is. And the rest of the movie, I can't even say it's a roller coaster of excitement. There are a couple there are a couple moments where the tension is pretty good, where I'm kind of sitting there wondering, okay, where's this going to go? But then once it happens, you're kind of sitting there thinking, oh, I kind of expected that. That could have been done better, but and as far as the deaths go, there aren't too many deaths in this movie, but the thing that blows my mind is the majority of them, they're sad, of course, but there's no substance to it. We don't know any of these people that die. There's only one person, okay, technically two, but only one of them do we have a small scene with beforehand where you're thinking, oh, decent person, I wonder what's going to, oh crap, that's how that's going to go. But there's even one individual who has a tie-in with the protagonist, where even though this person dies, I'm kind of sitting there thinking, oh, well, that sucks, but who are you? I mean, the only scene we have prior is of you on the phone, so it wasn't really, not really too much to say about this movie. There wasn't too much emotion. The plot is pretty straightforward and basic, and definitely had a couple final girl moments from people. They just kind of sit there and say, okay, you did that specifically to get caught. There was no other reason. You'll know it when you see it. And one of the dullest MacGuffins I've ever seen in my life. But at the same time, it at least got a good one-liner with it. So, as far as anything else goes, I'll be honest, folks, save your money. Wait until it's streaming, DVD. Was it Tubi? Because Tubi's completely free. This movie, it wasn't terrible, but it's definitely one of those things you don't want to blow your money, especially now that movie theaters are starting to reopen. You don't really want to waste your time going to see something like that. But the next movie I'm about to talk about, granted, won't won't win any awards, but it had some fun to it. But until next time, everybody, I'll see you all again very soon. Have a wonderful week to come. Take care.